Chapter 3006. Only then did Jiu understand that it turned out that Charlie called her grandpa a moment ago to just threaten him. In fact, to make him fear. Charlie's this move made her very moved. She was originally worried that she could not hold such a large ocean transportation group. She also worried that after the limelight passed, her grandfather would try the same trick again and find a way to snatch this big cake back. However, with the phone call from Charlie just now, she believes that for a long time in the future, she would no longer have to worry about any danger. So, she stood up, bowed slightly to Charlie, and said respectfully,
"Benevolence, oh no, Mr. Wade, thank you so much."
He waved his hand lightly and said lightly, "I am helping myself, and the ocean transportation group in your hand has very high assets, and my side is almost an empty shell. Although I will inject capital as promised, $10 billion, but in comparison, I am still taking advantage of you more or less." Jiu hurriedly said, "It's not like this. I have a hard time revitalizing this ocean shipping group. At most, I can sell it at a low price. If I cooperate with Mr. Wade, this asset will not only be revitalized, but it will also be more effective. There is more room and possibility for development, so we can be regarded as mutually benefiting." Charlie smiled slightly.
You are right. Doing business in partnership means mutual benefit.
After he finished speaking, he said again, "It just so happens that you are calling today in the name of Takiko. Then the new company we established can claim to the outside that it is a cooperation between you and the Ito family. Your grandfather always wanted to cooperate with the Ito family. Go online. Then you might as well make him think that you have caught up with this line, so that it will also make him recognize your abilities." Jiu nodded and said gratefully,
"I understand, everything is up to you."
Charlie looked at the time and said with a smile,
I guess it won't be long before your grandfather will call you. You have to think about your skills later.
At the same time, Su family villa. Chingfeng was already pale in shock at this time. Originally, he planned to let Carrie and Dan find the mysterious man and then kill him when he was not prepared. Chapter 3007. But he never dreamed that the two of them are now cold. Not to mention, they also sold their behind-the-scenes proprietor. As a result, the other party called and said that he wanted to change the rules of the game. How could he not be afraid? Especially the other party also accurately stated that he was in Suzhou. Distance from Oris Hill to Suzhou is very close, maybe when he goes to bed at night, and his neck will be wiped by the other party. Anson was very worried and asked,
Master, what are your plans next?
Chengfeng couldn't hide his nervousness and said, You heard it just now. Carrie and Dan are both in the hands of that kid. This guy really doesn't speak morals at all. Even the 100-year-old old man. He will not let go. After that, let alone me. With that said, Chengfeng sighed and said,
And this guy now knows that I am in Suzhou. This is the most dangerous.
Anson hurriedly said, Master, based on my humble opinion, our top priority at the moment is to leave Suzhou as soon as possible. Suzhou is too close to Oris Hill. If he finds this, it will only take 3 or 4 hours to drive. Chengfeng nodded, sighed, and murmured,
Hey, it's easy to leave Suzhou, but where would I go after leaving?
Anson said quickly.
Master, let's go back to Eastcliff.
Chengfeng said depressedly. It may not be really safe to return to Eastcliff. After all, his strength is really unpredictable. He could abduct Shouts silently under Luther's eyes. God knows he will, or will not repeat the old tricks and tie me up. Speaking of this, Chengfeng said again,
It may not be safe to go anywhere now. Even if I escape to the South China Sea, he will find a 3-hour plane.
At this time, Moby, who had not spoken for a long while, said, Master, you should go to the Maldives to avoid the wind and relax for a few days by the way. Suzhou has not really warmed up these days. The weather in the Maldives is good, and it is far away and a separate island, so we can also arrange security work. He said, in an archipelago country like the Maldives, the local government has sold everything that can be sold and rented everything that can be rented, except for the capital island and several large islands. For the islands that are sold, the local government will not even send a police force, not to mention the local army, and basically let us toss with ourselves, and the operation space will be larger. If you are willing to go there, I can ask my junior brother to help. Hire some mercenaries from the Middle East and the West. The Blackwater Company in the United States has a large number of mercenaries that have undergone rigorous training. At that time, hundreds of them will be hired directly from the Blackwater Company. Soldiers with guns and live ammunition will guard the island so that no fly can get in. Your safety can also be greatly guaranteed. Chapter 3008. Although Sue's family has not been able to do business all over the world, their homes are almost all over the world. Basically, all developed countries have real estate in the name of Sue family, so the family has a home wherever they go. As for resorts such as Maldives, Phuket, Bali, and Tahiti, not to mention, the Sue family has long bought several islands in the Maldives, some of which have been developed into high-end luxury island hotels, and another island has been developed but not put into commercial use, but reserved for the Sue family's own vacation needs. At this time, the weather in Suzhou during the first lunar month is still a bit cold and humid. But the Maldives, which is on the edge of the equator, is very comfortable even now, and it is indeed very suitable for short and medium-term vacations. Moreover, as Moby said, in an island country like the Maldives, the government has no energy to control so many islands that walk around. Basically, whoever it is sold to is left to toss, even if there are some places that are not allowed by local laws, just sold and no interference. Money can also be accommodating, and the operation space is huge. Therefore, once they go to the Maldives, they can definitely build a very powerful defense system in a short time. It is no exaggeration to say that once the high-end mercenaries are deployed from the Blackwater Company in the way Moby said, the defense of the island and the ability to protect will be so strong that no one may be able to penetrate the local army. However, although Moby is very considerate of security, he ignored Chungfeng's character and his situation in the family. Unless he is definitely sure that he will die if he doesn't leave, he is absolutely unwilling to leave. Going abroad to avoid the limelight is the last escape route for him, and he will only consider it as a last resort. Because he knew very well that once he left China, the Sue family would no longer be in his hands, and even the entire family might be torn apart. Moreover, after this trip, he may never come back. Even if the mysterious man stopped chasing him, once his children profited from it, they would never let him come back. When the time comes, he will suffer from the enemy. Thinking of this, Chingfeng gritted his teeth and said to Anson and Moby,
Without a last resort, I will never leave China.
Anson asked nervously,
Master, that guy is so strong. How do we deal with him next?
Chingfeng thought for a moment and said seriously,
Now only Jiu can save me.
Chingfeng knew very well in his heart. Chapter 3009. He knew that the only person who can stop the mysterious master right now is his granddaughter Jiu. He said to Anson and Moby,
If Jiu is willing to say something good for me, she will definitely make that person give up or delay the idea of chasing me.
Anson nodded repeatedly and said, The mysterious person who wants to come must have deep feelings for the eldest lady. Otherwise, he will not chase her in Oris Hill from Japan to protect her. If she can really say something for you, maybe it will really make a big deal. Small and trivial. Chungfeng sighed and said,
If you can't beat it and can't hide, the only way is to beg for mercy.
Moby couldn't help asking,
Master, I know Miss Jiu's character quite well. I am afraid that she's not that easy to talk about this matter. Indeed.
Chungfeng said depressed. This girl has a big appetite. About the previous press conference, I gave her the entire ocean shipping group to shut her up. If I beg her again this time, I don't know what she will ask for. Speaking of this, Chungfeng said with a cold expression, The reason why the ocean shipping group I gave to her is to see if she can revitalize the business. If it is not taken care of, it will die in her hands or my hands. There is no difference, but if she can revitalize this business, sooner or later I will have to get it back with profit. But if she wants other business from me, I mean she can't cut the meat anymore. Anson opened the mouth and said,
Master, why don't you make a phone call to check the eldest lady's tone? Yeah.
Chungfeng nodded and said, I'll call her right now. Oh, by the way, Anson, I asked you to follow her recent actions secretly. Do you know what she is doing these past 2 days? Anson hurriedly said.
Master, the eldest lady went to the Shangri-La Hotel today. What?
Chengfeng frowned and asked sharply.
What? Is she going to talk to the Wade family about cooperation?
Anson explained.
It's not about cooperation with the Wade family, but about cooperation with Ito family of Japan. You know, Ito is recently living in Shangri-La.
Chengfeng heaved a sigh of relief and nodded and said, I almost forgot about this matter. Zin was just looking for a chance to see Mr. Ito when he disappeared at Shangri-La. Jiyu ran over to see him now. Will he take care of her? Anson nodded and said,
According to the news from my people, after the eldest lady went to Shangri-La, she was picked up by Emi Ito, the younger sister of Mr. Ito, in the hotel lobby. What?
Chengfeng asked in surprise.
He agrees with her?
Anson said by the way.
My people followed, and the eldest lady did indeed enter his room.
Chengfeng couldn't help being a little bit astonished and immediately couldn't help but sigh. Since the fight between the 3 major families in Tokyo and the winner-takes-all of the Ito family, our ocean shipping group is unwilling to follow suit even without being punished. We cooperated and Zin, as the Su family's son and the heir of the Su family in the eyes of outsiders, failed to get Mr. Ito to meet him. I did not expect Jiyu to do it. Chapter 30:10. Anson nodded and said, The eldest lady is talented and intelligent, and her eloquence is by no means comparable to that of ordinary young people. Moreover, she now completely owns the ocean transportation group of the Su family. Maybe Mr. Ito has been reached with her persuasion for cooperation, Chengfeng said with some joy.
If this is the case, the ocean shipping business might be able to survive. Jiu seems to be really a bit skilled.
After that, he immediately picked up the phone and sent a message to her. The content of the message was,
Jiu, please call Grandpa when it is convenient.
Jiu saw this message and immediately told Charlie, and at the same time asked him,
Mr. Wade, should I return one to him now?
Charlie nodded and smiled.
Dial, see what he says.
Jiu hurriedly dialed Chengfeng's phone. The call was quickly connected. Chengfeng pretended to be concerned and asked on the other end of the phone.
Jiu, how have you been in the past few days? Have you encountered any problems that you need help from Grandpa?
Jiu said in a lukewarm tone, It's okay recently. I'm trying to revitalize the ocean shipping business. I appreciate your kindness, but you don't need to help me. Chengfeng sighed and said guiltily, For these 2 days, Grandpa has been unable to eat or sleep. Not only am I full of guilt for you and your mother, but I have also been thinking about how to compensate your mothers. It happened that Anson was with me today. Talking about the Maldives, I just thought, I will give you the island where the Su family stayed in the Maldives so that you and your mother can go to have a good rest and relax. Although the islands in the Maldives are expensive, they are not very valuable. The island developed by the Su family is taken on lease from the Maldivian government for 100-year use right, only spent tens of millions of dollars. But the real cost is the development and construction of the island. An island must not only have a complete set of architectural solutions, but also a large number of luxurious decorations, but also a complete set of hardware facilities such as docks, helipads, and satellite communications, and even have the ability to generate independent power generation and desalination. Therefore, the Su family has invested nearly 3 billion yuan in the construction of the complete set. Originally, Chengfeng regarded that island as a paradise on earth where he would enjoy his old age in the future, so he did not hesitate to pay for it. If he really wanted to give it to Jiyu, he naturally couldn't bear it. But he just said that he wanted to win favor in his granddaughter's heart first.